Lovely morning to everyone. 10th of July 2026 is today, the final trading session for this complete week of July 1, which is going to end the week almost with a negative bias, weak bias. Because of that 1 days, the 8th of July 1, collapse on the structure happened. And based on that, until otherwise it is getting a decisive move above the high point of that was 24,300 recorded on Nifty chart should be happened for seeing an improved prospects for the or improved movements behavior for the Nifty. Until then, one can see the range bound activities along with the sell on rise based approaches can be seen on Nifty, Bank Nifty, including sectoral indices. Hope you all have observed the thing what we have discussed yesterday about showing the Nifty chart and explaining the thing. The market have clearly held the Wednesday's low that was 23,805 without making an attempt to break that low. It had somewhat maintained that low with the way of attracting the selling, particularly in the bouncing activities. So that happened. Why means because of the behavior about emerging buying reactions. Whenever the 23,900, 800 and the behavior shift zone interimly we are having as 23,700 zones are getting approached by the Nifty. So that was the thing which had happened through the way of absorbing the buying and the bouncing back. But anyhow, the overall structure, what collapsed on or what get changed during the Wednesday session is yet on the improvement side. So the improvement until otherwise happening by the way of breaking above the Wednesday's low, sell on rise can be the strategy for the traders to adapt and observe the things along with the gains overall desiring. We can now see the Nifty chart that how it has behaved and what it has resulted in the way of giving the downward drift from yesterday's high. See, these things and all we have clearly stated during yesterday's session. The yesterday's session was inside, clearly inside the Wednesday's one. So the high and the low could not be attained, particularly it has somewhat maintained near to the low point of the Wednesday's one, but it could not attempt continuously moving higher towards high point of the Wednesday's one. So when it has attempted to move near to the 24,100 itself, it got rejected and the selling started again. So if so, one can see the selling how it has observed like. See, yesterday's was clear rejection where we get that can be now seen. This is what the Nifty chart for yesterday's one and where the rejection happened that can be seen through the way of showing this 15 minutes based time frame based chart. See the yesterday's one you can take it off Wednesday's high where it has happened 24,300. So afterwards yesterday's open was around 23,900. it has tried somewhat to move away, but during the 10:30 15-minute candle itself, it got rejected. See, after the rejection, what happened? See, from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth candle itself, it got rejected. Afterwards, it has almost given the rest of the day's candle in a negative manner, weak bias based one that has consolidated and could not maintain the consolidation range at the lower band. So it has given up and fallen back to the support zone. So that's what the important thing one can have. As we have been insisting the point of sell on rise, so that will be working for next few sessions even, as long as it is actually trading below the Wednesday's high of 24,300. So in that manner, you can see after getting rejected around 24,100, what was the low? 23,925. This was first 15 minutes low of 23,927. When compared to that, the 3 o'clocks, that means where it got rejected and given the breakdown of the consolidation range and recorded the low as 23,925, clearly below the first 15 minutes low point. So which means the selling spree is clearly and strongly being or intact on the price movements, and the sellers are dominantly driving the market's movement. So until otherwise, it is clearly or decisively making a move above this 24,300 zone on recorded on Wednesday. One can utilize all these things and all continuously to build the shorts, particularly when the immediate resistance points are getting approached. As per today's trade, this particular 24,100 will be acting as an immediate resistance point. Even though it is getting broken, until it is having a sustained move above the 24,300, this 24,100 may not be sustainable. So that is the one point one can observe as the first immediate resistance point. This one is for the day. In case if you are trying to build short positions, you can start over here and you can wait till the breakdown happens based on the yesterday's low, that is around 23,900. Once it breaks and closes even in the 15 minutes time frame, that below the movement of 23,900 would again drag the Nifty towards 23,800 as the Wednesday's low, where only one can see the important things and all will be happening, whether the Nifty is trying to hold these 23,800 again or not will be decided there. But as of now, the consolidation, what we have been discussing, will be continue happening, and between the 23,800 and 24,100, the dominant range can be seen on the Nifty side. So between this, the 24,100 to 23,800 will be the trading range for the day. In between, as long as the Nifty is holding 23,900 as the support, immediate support one can have, one can build the long positions, particularly those who are all having high risk appetite to enter into the long buildups, for which 24,000 to 24,100, 100 point to 200 point can be treated as a booking zone or target point for the long traders. And more than the long traders, through the way of approaching the sell on rise, the short buildups can be tried or attempted around 24,100 to 24,200 zone. Between this, very strong selling absorption can be seen on the Nifty side, anywhere between 24,100 of yesterday's high and 24,200 of previous since high that has become a resistance now, will be acting as the absorbing point for the seller, and there you can see building the short positions will be reaping you the benefits. If it got rejected once again, and the point of target may be set as 24,000 and 23,900. So 200 to 300 points of targets, which is actually higher than the 100 to 200 points of long build-up oriented range we have fixed. So that's it for the day. And mostly you can also think the important thing what we have expected yesterday, that it has clearly ended the session under the trend line what we have plotted here. The downward sloping trend line what we have explained yesterday has clearly acted and not allowed or not permitted the Nifty to close above this zone. If we Nifty wants to get the confirmation, means at least it should close above this particular zone. That is coming around 24,050. So once again, it has proved that the selling spree is existing and increasing. So the emerging sellers may dominate today's market as well, as long as it is protected by the 23,900 as the immediate support. You can keep holding the long position, particularly those for risk appetite traders. So that's it for the Nifty based explanation. By explaining the strategies, how the trend began and the overall behavior, how it is going to act like we have discussed. Now we can move to the part of pre-market. See the phrase we have mentioned here, the markets hold support, but sellers stay in control. That is what the important thing. The control where it is being there for the market will be deciding the further direction on the market. So the opening trend may be in the way of giving a flat, muted, but positive opening, by the way of observing the slight optimisms across major global indices. Because of some developments-oriented talks, despite the strikes and all resumed also happening. So in all the way, the mixed kind of reactions from the global markets, allowing the Nifty to open somewhat in a stable manner. But however, the stability would be required to prove the way of holding Wednesday's low as support without breaking even for today as a consecutive second day in a row after a carnage happened on Wednesday. So that is the core thing one should observe. And stock specific actions with the between the sectors what we have mentioned here may be focused particularly for short buildups when the Nifty and other sectors which are having a chance for moving up, where the rejection based actions may be expected. There you can start building the shorts, buying the put options by the way of taking yesterday's highest resistance point on immediate basis. From positional aspect also, as long as the Nifty, even though it is having corrected recently, as long as it is actually maintaining the 23,700 and above this point, a slight chance for reversing towards 24,700 is still there on course. But it should not even have a break below 23,700, particularly in this junction. If it happens, one can see the chance for retesting recent low of 22,700 may happen on Nifty. That was actually explained in a deeper way yesterday, sir. Do not want to remain the thing on the downside what will happen like. It may be creating a panic for you all. So that today's range between 23,800 and 24,100 should be minded, and trading actions or ideologies may be created between this range based on the support it has to respect, or if not, after the breakdown of the support, what should you do for the next level target and all? Already we have provided as a discussion. Once it is approaching the resistance of 24,100, you can start thinking of building short positions, but not in an aggressive manner. On either side, we are not allowing or we are not suggesting to move aggressively to build the long or shorts. The sell on rise will be the good strategy for today as well. And in case if the Nifty holds today, that means yesterday's low as well as the Wednesday's low, if both held by the Nifty means there will be a good Monday. Otherwise, the Monday may be in an opposite side, attracting the selling again. On sectors front, we can observe the stocks based movement under the important sectors we have mentioned, like IT, because of the TCS results and guidance, also the dividend payment. And the other thing on the IT side, based on the earnings update and upcoming earnings for important companies like Infosys, HCL, Tech Mahindra, and all, that keeps IT sector busy for the upcoming session. So one can check the IT sector's movement we are observing and suggesting you to follow. And you can get benefit to our approaching the stocks in line with the earnings announcement. Bank, finance, including that financial services companies, may be trying to continue their positive moment, but as like for the Nifty, we have explained, the Bank Nifty, particularly the mid-cap Nifty oriented stocks, may be attracting selling in advance to the Nifty's rejection movement at all. Then the defense-oriented stocks with a mixed action, one can see the movements from those stocks under defense. Capital goods, which are recently completed, seems to be completed the downward rally, but it could not attract the buying as an adequate one. The sector is needed, so which may attract the selling even in a small bounces. The telecom, that also can be added, particularly Bar Theatre and the Industrial Limited are cooking well for the long bidders. Along with this sector, oil and energy, both the sector stocks should be in focus. That has now become a normal for maintaining the stocks or trading decisions under these sector-oriented stocks for getting a greater opportunities. On stocks front, based on the results announcement, TCS can be in focus today. Mahindra & Mahindra, based on the business news, a JV based one. Dixon Technology also based on JV. Vikram Solar order win. And Havels India based on the news. Container Corporation based on the news. Premier Energy Anand Reddy. So Anand Reddy based on the earnings outcome, robust results it has announced. So all these stocks can be in focus for the day to get an improved trading prospects. Keeping stop loss is must, very must for all kind of transactions. Do not forget to maintain the stop loss on all. Today's earnings include Indian Bank, L&T Finance, Just Dial, Elecon Engineering, Bank of Maharashtra. So that's it for the day in terms of pre-market oriented outlook discussion. We will be meeting again on the same pre-market outlook discussion, which has started cooking well for the market activities, particularly in terms of negativity creations. So one should be very cautious and approaching day trading without having any panic, but with a must stop loss. And positional traders should be maintaining the caution on all transactions. And aggressive position buildups are not advisable right from here. Thank you for participating in today's session. Have a successful trading week. Bye-bye.